Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Buried Part 2. We have some stats from the last time that we played. 64% of players pulled Tony's body out from under the bulldozer. 76% of players were out front about Tony's death. 55 told Dennis you believe his story. 75 went to investigate the ringing sound, and 36% of players decided to leave Dennis behind. I am very sad I decided to leave Dennis behind. I'm really nervous he's going to be bleeding out or dead or something. We're going to go ahead and start chapter 2. Remember, this game is a mostly like me talking kind of thing. It's got some pictures, background music, stuff like that. So, yeah, so we're going to get going. We found a bunker in the woods and we went into it like idiots. And here we go. We're standing on a thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. But there's a small light further ahead, and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's covered surface. Curved. Another platform, maybe. This understanding comes with a very strong sense of trespassing. I am definitely not supposed to be here. We are 100% going to stay silent. I keep my mouth shut. I don't understand what kind of situation I'm in, so there's no need to alert whoever might be here. The reality of what I am seeing is sinking in. Whatever this place is, it reaches way underground. That seems impossible to me, making anything that's on the other side of this tunnel dangerous as far as I'm concerned. But of course, I'm going to go on. Human curiosity is going to see to that. Although the ringing is much louder down here, it's more solid now, and there's some other sound, something like the faint hum of machinery. I can either go left or right. The left is slightly lit, and right, not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in this place like this and I'll be wandering for hours. Looking each way, I jerk my head right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking, footsteps. Did I really hear something? I wonder as my eyes strain to see anything. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are my options. To the left are flickering lights, indicating that I'll at least be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness, but I also heard footsteps in that direction. I'm thinking let's avoid the footsteps. That might be bad. You decided to go left. It seems smart to stay in the light. Left it is. It's neat. As I head left, the lights ahead are like a beacon in the dark, luring me forward. I wonder if it's a good or bad thing that they left the lights on for me. I think to myself, I'm trying to be funny but end up creeping myself out instead. As I near the lights, I hear the hum of machinery grow louder, but it doesn't sound like any machine I've ever heard before. Now fully stepping into the light, I hear that the sounds of the machinery are coming from an area on the left side that is protected by a guardrail. Wisps of blue light dance on the walls as they leak out from whatever is below. I also notice a posted sign that says danger, severe radiation poisoning. Stay back. Yeah, no radiation for me, thank you. I don't think I should get near whatever is down there. I study the blue light for a moment and then turn away. I have enough problems as it is. I don't think I need to add radiation poisoning to my list. I step away and take off down the tunnel again, very aware that it's possibly not the smartest idea. As I start walking, I notice another structure coming into view up ahead. We're in like a subway. It did say like a transport something, like a transport sector. As I head further down the tunnel, I reach another platform. I'm looking and trying to process where I am now when suddenly I hear the rapid footfalls of someone running towards me. They're sprinting this way from the dark side of the tunnel and fast. I can't see anything but their footsteps echo towards me. Having not seen or heard anyone else in here, I have no idea if they're dangerous or not. I realize I only have a few seconds before they'll be on top of me. I'm not going to attack them. I think that's a little premature. I figure I might as well greet them like a civilized human being. There would be a better chance of getting answers that way. I step out into the light as they get closer and closer. And when they step into the glow of the platform, I cannot believe my eyes. It's Dennis. Dennis, what the hell are you doing down here? I left you up at the logging site. He stops running and stares at me dumbfounded. Oh my god, Roger, it's you. I'm so glad to see you in this godforsaken tunnel. How did you get here, I ask, and why are you down here? You don't seem fit to move. He bends over and puts his hand on his knees, breathing heavily. I can see that the gash in his side is inflamed now. It's not safe up there, he says, as though that explains anything. I started running away and ended up here. Running to get away from what? I was waiting for you when we last spoke, and then I heard something in the woods. At first I thought it was a car radio, some crackling static, but it was much louder, like some kind of demon. It got louder and louder, and it freaked me out, and I started running. I fell into some kind of sinkhole. The ground just fell out from under me. I ended up in this weird hallway that led me to this tunnel. He pauses, as if evaluating whether he's just said is crazy or not. Well, you're here now, and honestly, I'm glad to see you, I say. What do you say we check out this platform and see if we can get some answers? There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they're dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place. Whatever this place is, the ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we came to a large open area ahead of the tunnel, it further resembled a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we have walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident, though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then up the small utility ladder that is bolted to the opposite side of the travel way. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? Dennis said, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. We're gonna be compassionate, though. We're frustrated. I'm not the one who has a gash in my side, I think to myself, so I decided to cut him some slack. Damn, boss, I'm sorry, he said. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he said with a weak laugh. You need a minute to rest, I asked, as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. Wasn't he sitting? Yeah, he was sitting. That's okay. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway, exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize those red emergency lights might be on for someone else who is actually supposed to be here. Yeah, we're gonna keep quiet then. That's not gonna happen. I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone to the fact that there are strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream, in this empty place is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret, and if it is supposed to be a secret, and there was a power outage recently, maybe most of everybody has been evacuated. This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. Surreal, okay. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks. And then he asks the question that has been on my mind since I found this little building in the woods. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hall and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise and then the unmistakable noise of a generator clicking on. Okay, so it's bright now. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. That mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow, the power being back on urges us on. It's then that I notice the ringing sound has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just the power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, the place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long, with two main doors. One door opens onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and paper strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary-sounding chuckle. Something funny? I ask, as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides down to the floor. I'm just going to sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. Okay, let's go to the conference room first. If I even get to go to the lab now, great. That's fine. A large table sits in the middle of the room, lined with a series of chairs. It looks like something straight out of a showroom. A well-used whiteboard hangs on the wall, and there are scattered papers on the desk. Let's look at the papers. Most of the papers and printouts have codes and equations that all go way over my head. But there are also handwritten notes that don't make me feel any better about our situation. I read through them and see scrawled notes that say things like, last experiment failed, overdose before transport, levels indicate cellular catabolism, more lead shielding in export suits, measurements make no sense, let Barksdale know about possible Higgs field fix. Let's look at the whiteboard, I guess. A few things are scribbled on the right whiteboard, mostly formulas and names, but there are some things that are easy to understand, things that make my blood go cold. Subject number 6, cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both. Ideas for new delivery modes, spherical, liquid, comatose state. TerraCore Company, possible plutonium supplier. Gosh, what are they doing with plutonium? Outside in the hall, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor, but I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. That's fun. This is great. We're fine. Everything's good. No big deal. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young with messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. Let's just be passive, I think, is the best goal right now. I put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrendered state. Maybe it's because this feels like a dream. Maybe it's because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. Who are you, and how did you get here? The man asks harshly. Before we can answer, he continues speaking. I don't recognize you. If you're here, you've had to sneak past the security mics in the entrance hall. What? I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? The man asked. Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He is scared, but there's something else. We're just loggers, man. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says bullshit. But for some reason, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, the man said. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The armed man asked, thrusting the gun in my face. How the hell did we even get in this situation, I think to myself. If only I had left that ringing noise alone, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if we want to give this guy any information yet. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he might have some answers. We're just looking for our crew, man. We have other crew members that we can't find. Your crew, he asked, seeming confused. If this man thinks that we're nuts, there's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. But how'd you get out here? In here, the man asks. I point down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. His expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Please put the gun down. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out. Wow, that's aggressive. With that, he uses the muzzle of the gun to flip my hard hat onto the floor. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but it's efficient to show me that he knows that he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because his wounds make him appear to be weaker than the weaker of us. The man takes a shady step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. Oh yeah, I'm definitely helping. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action, and I do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say, but we are here by mistake. Well, you've no business here, the man said. But now that the power's on, I think it might be too late anyways. For what? I ask. But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense and honestly makes me think he might be a little crazy. Who sent you? He asks. You guys from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? I'm the president. No, I don't think I should be sassy with this guy. No, I say, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, the man says. But I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward, as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then, in a movement so fast that I just about miss it, Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he's even moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago, I was worried about how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there is a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I have not been shot. I look to the floor and see where the shot missed my leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed, in shock for a moment, as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall I could use as a bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. I'll just punch him in the face, man. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right past my face, a reminder of how close I'd come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often, never, really. I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. The man's head snaps back hard, and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized, and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet although he's basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him, a desire that builds with each second I look at him. No, we shouldn't, right? Ugh. He's definitely out now, no threat. Or at least that's what I think. Great. But he surprises me by mustering up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. His eyelid swells to the size of a grape. My eyelid swells to the size of a grape almost immediately. It seems like the last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back and ready myself for another round of blows, but he just slouches into the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me, and I take it with shaky hands. I can't believe you stepped between me and that gun, Dennis said. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had no such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same for me, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes look to the floor. What do we do now, boss? Dennis says. We've come this far and I want answers. I sense that Dennis does too. I walk over and pick up my hard hat off the floor. After placing it on my head, I turn towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time I won't just hit you, I say, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid from where he kicked me earlier. I just hope it doesn't get so bad that it affects my sight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. As we walk down the hallway until we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us. Its steel sliding doors larger than normal elevators. Okay. That doesn't look larger, but okay. Maybe taller. That might be larger. Okay. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name? I ask. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be? I ask. No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info I can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here, I say. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor, he said, but we can't go down there. What's on the second floor? He looked at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware you're inside of a classified government facility, he says. It makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure our government would want to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he says. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make the place run, not even a thank you, just a bunch of restricted access rooms that I'm only allowed to go in with a friggin' chaperone. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get in for hitting a government employee. This makes me glad I took it easy on him. Then again, he had come at us with a rifle. It makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. And the explosion in the woods, or whatever the hell happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it would be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. Let's just try to be as kind as we can. Look, I say, it hasn't been the best day. We're just trying to find out what's going on, to find our crew, to survive. I know that this isn't a normal situation down here. It looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you just help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightening sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel door slides open with a whisper, revealing the interior. This is crazy. It's exceptionally well lit and looks like it's made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we get a first aid kit for after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here, I ask. We can't leave, Marcus says. Once the power comes back on, the whole place was put into lockdown. What? I shout. Can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. Slowly, we start to move down. The hum and grind of the car's motors fill the space. So what can you do? Marcus bristles at the question, but I think it's fair. I mean, he's not allowed to unlock the doors or even get medical supplies. Why keep a guy around who can't even grab a band-aid without permission? Without me, nothing would get done here, Marcus answers. These people think they're brilliant, but some of them can barely turn their computers on without help. The top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground, helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. What goes on here? Marcus shakes his head. You may as well shoot me, I can't tell you. Why not? It's beyond classified, and the things I know don't even cover the start of it. What does that mean? I asked, starting to get irritated. It means that even if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is done here, I don't even know enough about it. What's your job? I handle the IT work, and I make sure the database are up and running. It's a 24/7 job. I haven't seen the sunlight in almost a year. Wow. I wonder what staying in a place like this for that long would do to someone's mind. I was recruited, he continues. Because of the workload, no one else wants this job, but I don't really mind being by myself. No family. Plus the IT, it's some crazy stuff. Crazy how? This place generates over 100 terabytes of data per day, he answers, getting the slightest bit excited for his face to fall again. What knocked the lights out? Seems like some sort of power outage, Marcus says. That's all I know. There was an outage and then what? Dennis says weakly. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by something. I tried getting killed, like that's a big jump, man. I tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on the backup systems. But what I saw, what? I asked, feeling a sharp fear worm its way into my guts. Well, what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is, it's still down here. Hold on, I say. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place? Marcus gave me a little grin and looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know? So we're still in danger here. As he opens his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a glassed-in room that is filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file up behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns in emergency vaults in every single room? Chapter 2. Look at that. Okay, so let's go over our stats, and then we'll call it a day. Only 39 players obeyed the warning sign and stayed away from the glow. I wonder what that would have done. 64% of players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him. 65% of players were easy on Marcus after he surrendered. Okay. So we're gonna call that one a day, you guys. We're gonna be coming back here in a couple days to begin chapter 3. I'm happy that I got away from the glow, but I do wonder what the glow was. So if anyone knows what the glow is, let me know. That'd be great. And I'll see you guys in the next one.